Drivetime Radio with New York Vinnie.
On this week's edition of Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? What about the show?
Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week?
Have a little fun. It is a fun day here out at
You're listening to Drivetime Radio.
Remember, just plug in. I'm ready.
Just plug in, I'm ready. It's this 4th of July weekend. It is July 4th. Happy July 4th. Happy 250th anniversary of this great nation. Even got my tri-corner hat on. I'll get the horse outside and I'm ready to run up Concord, Massachusetts and tell them that the British are coming. Good morning. It's Drive Time Radio. I'm New York Vinnie, and for this is beautiful. It's a little gray out, but what do you expect? It's July 4th in Seattle. July 4th in Seattle is always great. It's the way it goes. So it's gray, but we're sunshiny. We're happy today. When you see the car I'm driving this week, you'll see why. The sunshine is all over the place, and we're going to put on a happy face. Oh, man, how's your week going, huh? I hope you're I hope you're on vacation. I hope that you are somewhere on the way to or at somewhere, or doing something that that is fun, is a little crazy, but not too crazy, and something that you can have fun with. And I don't know if you caught all of that, but we still have a lot of things that nobody else has. It is America. It is 250 years old, which is for an experiment like this, democracy. Not bad. Not bad. But we continue to talk about something that is what do you call it? Something that is near and dear to all our hearts if you're watching this show, and that is cars and driving and highways and just the whole how mobility made this country, and how mobility is affecting this country today. It's it's a new age out there. It's a new world. A lot of people ask the question: is the automobile going to be as important in the future as it has been in our past? And what will that do for our country? What will it do to change the basic tenet of America, which is you can get your car and go anywhere at any time? It's already radically changed in that you used to be able to get your car and go anywhere at any time without anybody being able to find you. Remember that? You got to be probably about my age or a little bit younger to remember that there was a time where you could get in your car and get lost. If you didn't want anybody to find you, you got in your car and you just started driving. was no cell phones, no telephones, no trackers in your car, no GPS, or no devices that let the manufacturer or the police or your wife or your girlfriend or anybody know where you were. It was you, the engine, the transmission, the rear axle, and the road. And I think in many ways I miss those days. I miss those cars that didn't have tracking devices in them, that didn't have, that you could just get in your car and it was a place of sanctuary. You know, there was a commercial that was on probably a year ago or so. I think it was Matthew McConaughey that was in, well, no, actually it was the same company, Lincoln, but they had this woman who would get in a Lincoln and she would try to find sanctuary. She wanted to find a place away from it all where nobody could find her, nobody could communicate with her. She would just be away from the world. Well, that's how cars used to be. If you wanted to get away from the world, if you wanted to get away from society, you got in your car and you started driving away from the city. And sometimes you'd get all the way out to the West Coast. Sometimes you'd get to another city. Sometimes you'd just go park somewhere and they wouldn't be able to find you. They couldn't get a hold of you. You were, for all intents and purposes, gone from communication, gone from the earth. But that ended with cell phones, with smartphones, with personal communications, which now we can't seem to be without. Now we can't stop people from looking at the phones while they're driving. I wonder if you would trade the ability to get your car now and not be bothered by the world, not be bothered by work, not be bothered by family, not just be able to be alone in the car and not have everybody, finding you, not being able to track you, not being able to feel like somebody out there knows your every move. And if you're in a car, they do. A car is no longer just a car. Used to be that a car was a way to get you from A to B, but no longer. Now a car is a place to do business. Now a car is a place to communicate. Now a car is a place to recreate. It's easy to find you in your car. It's easy to track you in your car. Even if you don't have a vehicle with tracking devices, which most vehicles built after 2006, I think, have the tracking device so they can find out where you are, what you're doing. I remember when we first heard about these devices, I was at a Mercedes-Benz event here in Seattle. And I asked the Mercedes-Benz representative, well, what's this going to be? What is the end result to this? And he said to me, he said, well, it'll be able to get for us to know your car better. But he didn't say that it would also be for them to sell your information to companies, to be able to track where you are, to be able to track if you're leasing their car exactly where you are, to be able to shut your car off if for some reason, in their estimation, they had to. I mean, think of it. You can go buy a car now, and if you buy it on credit, the credit company has the ability to shut your car off. That's a long way from freedom, my friends. That's a long way from that freedom we used to know when you were driving a 65 Chevy Impala and you got in, you put the key in the dashboard and the ignition switch, you turned it on, and there was nothing, no kind of tracking device, nothing. You just got in and you went. And if you wanted to go to the beach and be left alone, if you wanted to go get in your car and drive out Cross Bay Boulevard to Rockaway and take a day away from everybody else, you could do it. But we have lost that freedom that I think in many ways built this country. You know, when you go back to post-World War II and you go back even before that in the 30s, the automobile was the reason that this country expanded west. Yeah, I know the railroads were there. The railroads were before it. But the idea that you could get in a car and drive between cities in long distances was enticing to Americans that wanted to get out of the crowded cities. It was enticing to Americans who wanted wide open spaces, who wanted to visit things like national parks, who wanted to visit places that they had only heard about on the radio. They wanted to see what Cleveland looked like. They wanted to see what Florida looked like. They wanted to see what New York City looked like. They even wanted to see what Los Angeles looked like. We celebrate this year the 100th anniversary of Route 66, the Mother Road, the road that went from Chicago along the belt of this country and straight out to Los Angeles, ending up in Santa Monica, California. And when you had the Dust Bowl in the 30s, you had the Depression, you had all different things that went on in this country that facilitated people going from back east to out west. Route 66 was the way they went. A uniquely American thing because we had the space. We had the places. And this country was undergoing a building project. I mean, we were building dams. We were building the work started to move out west. And every time you look at that era, you see the car is involved. The cars got bigger, faster, better, more suited for highways as opposed to city driving. The farmers had to get their product to market, so they got together with their states and their counties and built highways so that this country could become mobile, so that it didn't take you a month to drive from San Francisco to New York. You could make that drive, and on the way, maybe you found a place that you liked and you wanted to stay there. Maybe you found a city. Maybe you met a waitress in a diner and decided, well, I'm going to stay here for a while. I'll see if I can get work. And all of a sudden, that car that you left New York City with became your ticket to a freer life, your ticket to love, your ticket to happiness. That's where the story of the automobile and America is so intertwined. And of course, after World War II, when the GIs got back, credit was easy. Everybody could get a car. And the next thing you know, people wanted not just to live in the cities, but to move out of the cities, to move to these homes that were being built by these developers so they could get out of the city. And to access these places, you needed a car. all these suburbs that were built in outside of major cities. Long Island, the suburbs in Long Island and New Jersey, the suburbs in South Jersey for Philly, suburbs in Maryland for Washington, suburbs of Los Angeles, suburbs here in Seattle. I mean, even when I first got here, you couldn't get a train over to Bellevue. You couldn't get a train down the Federal Way. You couldn't get a train up to Linwood. Everywhere you went by car. And it's causing the expansion of America. Now, it's interesting because it's different. I don't think it's going to contract, but if you're in my age group or a little bit younger, when you turned 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old, your aspiration was to get a driver's license. Your aspiration was to get a car. That car, again, meant freedom. Freedom to go different places. Freedom to pick up your friends and go different places. Freedom to go to the beach. Freedom to go to the park. Freedom to go camping. Freedom to get outside of town. Freedom to get away from your parents. That's what it meant. It also meant, obviously, a way to get to your job and a way to get, to get to a job and to make life easier by commuting to different places. But it freed you up to take a job. If you lived in Seattle, to take a job at South Center. The only way to get to South Center 20 years ago was a bus. If you had a job at the airport, how could you go? You went by the bus. So the automobile freed you up again to freedom. But that doesn't seem to be as much of the aspiration of younger kids anymore, younger people. Uber, the cost of owning a car, Waymo, of an improved transit system, all have contributed to a situation where people don't feel as free in cars anymore. People don't feel like they have to run out and get a car when they turn 18 anymore. It's not people don't run to the motor vehicle department to get their license right away. Insurance is expensive. Cars are expensive. Now, maybe if you go to Pullman to go to school, you want to have a car. But if you go to UW, you can go by train. Train goes right there. Lots of people still using their cars. But the car is the great American freedom story. It's the great story of getting away from the hometown, looking at something different, being able to get in that car and go on a vacation, go to the beach, go down Ocean Shores, go to, if you're back east, go to Wildwood or Cape May, or those places that you couldn't get to. I mean, I guess you could take the bus, but you ever take the bus from New York City to Cape May or Wildwood? Oh, my God. You spend half of the holiday. I know, I used to take that bus going down to Atlantic City or going down to Wildwood from the Port Authority bus terminal in New York. What a bus ride that was. You get off the bus down there in Wildwood and you walk around and hang out on the boardwalk. But then freedom at the age of 16, getting your license and getting a car and driving down. It's so much, the automobile is so much a part of the American story, the story of how we feel about this country. Going back for a second to Route 66, people would take that road because they thought that there was a better life for them out west. Maybe they didn't even know exactly where they were going. But those people are affected by the Dust Bowl in the 30s. I mean, you saw the Grapes of Wrath. If you didn't, I suggest you do. John Steinbeck's great novel, which was turned into a movie starring Henry Fonda. And all about the people, the victims of the Dust Bowl, having to pull up roots from farms that land that they farmed, their fathers farmed, their grandfathers farmed, but it was rotten. The soil had taken off, blown out in the wind. They couldn't grow anything. They had to do something. So they loaded up their trucks, and they started moving west for the promise of a better life, the promise of opportunity. See, besides just driving from one place to the other, the car, for many people, represents opportunity. Today, the car represents opportunity for people. How many people who get laid off, don't have a job, can't get a job, just come to this country, and they're out, they have a car, and they're out hustling packages for Amazon. They're out hustling packages for Roadie and all the different types of delivery services that are out there, for Uber, driving people from here to there, delivering their dinners. It's a different kind of opportunity, but it's opportunity just the same with your car. And it's part of the great American story. You come here, you have nothing, you get a job driving for Uber, you get on the app and you start to build something, and the next thing you know, you've earned enough money to or gotten enough experience to get a better job. It's an age-old story. And it's one that people, I think, will repeat in the future. The gig economy runs on automobiles, doesn't it? That's why used cars are in such demand. Now, the unfortunate thing is cars have been new cars. That old dynamic has changed. What used to be affordable is no longer affordable. Used cars are no longer $25 or $50 clunkers that maybe needs a brake job or something like that. You buy it, and you do it, and you put it together, and you're out on the road. But it is something to think about. The freedom that we enjoy in this country is so intertwined with cars. Lots of great books on the subject that are out there that sociologists and many people much smarter than me have written and said that this is how America got to be so big, got to be so expansive, got to be the country that it is today. And the automobile, the car, had no small part in that. So next time you jump in a car, think about that. Along those lines, there is something that I was reading up on. There are certain laws, and this is in California, where they the government now wants you to be able to turn off these devices that track you. They want to be able to let you, as a consumer, as the owner of that piece of property, say, I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to be found. I don't want you, the manufacturer, selling my information. I don't want you tracking me down. And so there are laws now that are on the books in California. And when it comes to cars, what California does eventually goes around to the rest of the nation. The California state legislature says that we want people to be able to shut these devices off, to not be tracked, to have a device where you have a choice of being tracked or not being tracked. There is already a law on the books. This seems to especially come in to play in situations where people are stalking other people. People place, jealous husbands or wives or whatever, track their partners down. There's been a couple of cases down there of people tracking down people and causing them harm. So the state legislature has said enough. And maybe you'll see that law come up here if it hasn't already, or be introduced if it hasn't already. I mean, what do you think about that? Should they be able to shut off these devices? Or is that just modern life? That if you want to buy a car, if you want to own a car, you have to put up with somebody knowing where you are. It's kind of creepy. Takes some of the freedom out of it, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. What else do we have here? Oh, yes, the folks at Rolls-Royce, I really like this, are paying tribute to America's 250th anniversary Rolls-Royce, a British car that's owned by BMW. But Rolls-Royce celebrating America 250 by releasing red, white, and blue models of their cars. The Cullinan is being produced in a red, the Phantom in a white, and the Ghost in a blue. To celebrate the partnership that Rolls-Royce has experienced with America. and how America has been a pretty big part of Rolls-Royce's success and continues to be. So no price on those yet. But I don't know that you're running out to Rolls-Royce right away and buying one. If you are, take me with you. I'd like to sit there and watch you order it. All right. Let's not forget that our good friend George Jackson, T-shirts, tchotchkes, business promotional items. George has them. He knows how to get you a great price on them. He knows how to deliver them to you quickly and done right. Why deal with a website where you can deal with a human being? Why deal with a website where you can deal with George? My friend George Jackson has been a long-time sponsor of this show. And if you are in the market for tchotchkes, whether they be anything from, those drives that you plug in with your name on them, to pens, to T-shirts, to you name it. And George can get it for your business. Business promotional items from George Jackson Promotions. You can find them on the internet at George Jackson Promotions on Facebook, gjp.com on the internet. If you need that kind of stuff for your business or your personal life, you want to get something cool for a birthday party, a 50th birthday that's coming up, T-shirts or, pens or whatever. George is the person that can take care of it for you. Golf tournaments, you got to put a goodie bag together. George can help you do that. He's a good man. Give him a call. Tell him Vinnie sent you. Coming up a little later in the show, we'll have an update on the Slate. The Slate truck. The truck that they have said will never be built for that kind of money. Looks like it's being built for that kind of money. So that's an interesting thing that we'll have coming up for you sometime in a little bit later in the show. My microphone has been bugging out this morning. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I don't know what's happening. We're going to try to switch over to the that's it. I think that's going to give us the optimum sound. All right, I wanted to tell you about a car that I have that I road tested. I put it through its paces a couple of months ago, and I haven't. To be honest with you, I looked back at my. I looked back at my shows, and I just couldn't figure out if I did a review on it yet. So I wanted to review it. I got my notes here. So I want to make sure that I told you about it because I don't want to drive a car and not tell you about it, especially this one with the way EVs have become popular again. We definitely want to give you an opportunity to hear about this car. So this week for our radio road test, we give you the Volvo EX30 Some people call it the EV30, but it's the EX30. It's Volvo. And, Volvo used to be a very popular car around these parts. But this is their smallest and sweetest, I think, SUV. It's, it brings Volvo, which has been a very conservative brand, into the 21st century with this electric vehicle. It's a twin motor performance vehicle, 422 horsepower, take you from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Now, I almost feel odd saying that you could get a Volvo that would take you from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. There's a lot of guys named Ole that used to own these cars out in Ballard that would shake in their boots if they went that fast. The single motor setup gets you up to 261 miles of range, 253. And it's a quick charging car. It's also a very comfortable car. First of all, let me go back to the outside, the exterior a second. I love the design features in this car. I mean, they've retained that Volvo quality, that Volvo look, that Volvo feel, which is a premium look and a premium feel in their electric car. Now, this car, even though it's owned by a Chinese company, is made in Belgium, which, is I think fairly new for Volvo. But you get the badging on the front, you get all of the Volvo safety stuff, you get all of the stuff you expect in a Volvo, including an incredible array of high tech. If you are a person that loves high tech, you are going to love the EX30. It's just it's a comfortable vehicle that has it's not cluttered up. It doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. Everything is well contained. It's very ecologically sound in that they use all kinds of recycled and rethought about materials that aren't, Volvo has always been a company that has paid attention to the environment. And this may be their smartest vehicle that they have ever put out there. You can see the space in the back. Gives you a ton of space to be able to put stuff, nooks and crannies that you can store stuff. A comfortable back seat. Plenty of room for your luggage in the back in a relatively small package. If you move those seats up, you get plenty of leg room. The central tablet, which controls everything on the car, gives you, I think what and maybe I'm driving a lot of these cars, but it seemed to be fairly logical. Didn't seem to be over engineered so that it took you all afternoon to try to figure out how to turn the heater on. It was better than that and better than some cars. It makes the graphics in the car easy to read. And again, it's electric. So you plug it in overnight. This particular one was the EX30, which gives you extra ground clearance, underbody protection, and the black styling accents. The black roof you can see, the black on the bottom, the black wheels. Black is in. Black is really in for cars these days. And it gives you some light off-road ability. Again, I don't know that that I'm going to go rock climbing with this car, but I think as a vehicle that you could feel confident with in all types of weather, if you want to take it for some light off-roading, that this is a car. It's a small car. It'll get you where you want to go. And it's in a minimalist style. Not a lot of clutter in this car. Not a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be there. I thought on the road it handled well. Highway driving was straightforward. As we said, has good ground clearance. They raised it up for this particular model. And I think that it was a very comfortable car to drive. It took a couple of long trips in this car, and it was extremely comfortable to drive. And I'll tell you another interesting thing with this car. I took it to Cars and Coffee here in Shoreline, down the road there in Shoreline, and I was one of 3 Volvos there. So the older Volvos are in, and I had the people that own the older Volvos coming over and looking at the newer Volvo. These cars, Volvo, the couple of things you get with Volvo is you get reliability and you get safety. And there's no reason to believe that this car isn't, tests well in all the safety checks. You can always go online to look at those at the government crash test sites. And it's engineered to be a pleasurable, small, city type of electric car. I liked it a lot. I thought what was this car? Around $50,000, I believe. And the all-wheel drive made it fun to drive. You get that 422 horsepower with the all-wheel drive. It pins you in your seat. And it holds the roads. It doesn't feel light. It feels spacious inside. And well-weighted, the steering on the road. So I really, if you want a car, and I know that you can run out there, you look at the Kona, you look at the Nero EVs, this thing will blow their doors off. If you want a little speed, if you like to have a little speed, if you like a car that goes fast, this is, believe you me, this is a car that goes fast. If you're looking to get into a Volvo, an EV, and something that is not going to be something that everybody else on the block is driving, I think this is well worth a look. All right, that's our road test, radio road test, the Volvo EX30, sharp little car, and I would suggest that you take a look at it if you can. All right, let's see what we got next. Oh yes, Slate. I want to tell you about Slate. Slate. I've been talking about Slate for the last couple of months. Been telling you that this car is coming. It's coming. They are taking orders for them now, not just reservations. The base stripped down model of the Slate, which means that you'll get an electric motor, a battery, a body, crank windows, a steering wheel, tires. It's just going to be a base model. Not going to have a color to it. It's going to be slate gray. $24,000. $24,000 is what they're saying for this car. And it's going to be a whole bunch of options that you're going to be able to put on it. I think this is going to be a winner for slate. People that have driven in it, people that have seen them, say that this truck is going to take this country by storm, especially in the city. It's an electric truck. It'll give you 181 horsepower. And it'll give you stark simplicity if that's what you want. Speed, range, and just about nothing else will be displayed on the inside of the car. And it feels big from what everybody is saying that it's driven. I have not driven it yet. When you look at the pictures of the interior, it kind of harks you back to the old days. I always talk about my father's International truck and how it just had one gauge in the middle of the dashboard and it tells you everything you need to know. If you want a truck that is just going to get you from here to there, if you want a new car that's just going to get you from here to there, $24,000, $25,000 by the time you do tax and destination and everything. But that's what it's going to cost you. Now there will be a ton of stuff. $24,950. Destination probably going to be $1,500 to $2,000. They'll have a kit that turns it into an SUV that you can buy. That's going to be about $5,000. So your most expensive slate is probably going to be around $30,000, $30,000 to $34,000, somewhere in there. About 1,400 pounds of capacity. It'll tow 1,000 pounds. Now that's interesting because Honda just came out with a camper this past week that is designed for lightweight vehicles to tow, for your SUV, for your light, small pickup truck to tow. We'll have more on that. I'm going to try to get a hold of a friend from Honda and try to get more information about that. Slate is going to sell directly to consumers, no dealerships. They're saying that many of the repairs that will need to be done on a slate will be repairs that you can do yourself. They have signed a contract with Repair Pal, which is a network of over 3,000 shops coast to coast to do their warranty and repair work. On the accessories, lots of stuff. Replacement seat covers, interior panels, an optional single speaker stereo, grill and light covers, colored wheels, racks, systems. You can swap the front and rear turn signals for bigger signals. There's a ton of things that you can do to this truck. So if you want a better truck, a more customized truck, you can get it. But if you want a new truck for $24,950 plus destination, so $26,500, you'll be able to get one. And you can convert it back and forth to the pickup truck, to the SUV, to the pickup truck, to the SUV, just like the old International Scout used to come with a hardtop. You could drop that hardtop on the pickup, and you'd have an SUV type vehicle. You don't paint it, you wrap it. Got a selection of over 100 colors at launch. Although this is going to be interesting, they say that you can DIY the wraps. I don't know about that. I would probably get that done professionally. But if you're looking for a color on this thing, probably going to cost you $1,000 with the wrap and an installer. If you want that kind of variety. But I think, depending on the quality, I think it's going to be a hit. They've got 180,000 reservations already. They think that they're probably going to be able to produce 100,000 units in the first year. Second year, 150. And you can order them now. If you have a reservation, you can turn that reservation into an order. $300 is your deposit. And they should start delivering these things late in the year. Now, again, I have been talking about getting a pickup truck, an urban pickup truck, for a long time. I think the pickup truck is something that people want in the city. They certainly want a $25,000 car. So this is an ability to give it to them. Now, we don't know what the build quality is yet. We don't know, exactly what it's going to be. But the idea that you get a vehicle and you go back to the basics, that if you don't want all of this stuff, I mean, that's the way it used to be. You used to go into a showroom, and if you didn't want the Impala, you could order the Bel Air, which had less equipment, less chrome, smaller engine. Or the Biscayne, which was even less stuff in it yet. A lot of Biscaynes came with 3-speed stick shifts on the column. Didn't even have automatic transmission. No radio. It was transportation that got you from point A to point B. Now, the Slate is advertising itself, and I think it will be more than just point A to point B transportation. But it looks like a vehicle that you can have fun with. So I'm excited about it. And again, let me just run over some of the stats for you. And you can go to their website. It's slate.com. 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. Don't race your friend in a Volvo. Wheelbase, 108.9 inches. It'll weigh 4,050 pounds as a pickup truck. If you put the SUV stuff on it, 4,350. 181 horsepower, permanent magnetic electric motor. Rear motor, rear-wheel drive, 2-passenger, 2-door electric pickup, or 4-passenger, 2-door electric SUV. And again, you go from $26,500 up to a top price of about $33,500. And you know what I like about this? That there's no dealer involved. That you're going to go straight to Slate. So you're not going to have a dealer telling you, well, you need more money, or you need, you have to pay us this, that, or the other thing, a clear coat and a this coat and a that coat and window guard and anti-scratch and, all the stuff that dealers try to sell you. It's not going to be here because you're going to order the car online. I know Jeff Bezos is behind this vehicle. Wouldn't surprise me if you saw a bunch of them in a second or third year as Amazon delivery trucks. So, hey, our friend Rick Price is listening this morning. Good morning, Rick. Happy 4th of July to you too, pal. Glad you're taking a few minutes to listen. So, read up more about it on slate.com. Again, I think this is going to be a success. I think that you're going to see these all over the city. I mean, if you own a pizza parlor and you deliver your own pizzas, this is a vehicle that you're looking at. If you're an electrician or something like that, isn't this a vehicle you're looking at? If you have to pick up and deliver stuff inside the city, isn't this a vehicle you're looking at? I think you're going to see a ton of these around as soon as they're in production, they're out on the street. I think this is going to be a hit if it's built right. Oh, and by the way, it's built in Indiana. It's built in America. Whole thing built in America. They're building them in Indiana. So, congratulations to Slate. I'm excited about this vehicle. All right, let's get ready to wrap it up here. We got our segment that I know you look for every week, which is that Yo Vinnie, what are you driving this week? And I always love presenting it to you. Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes you just got to get the, there you go. Where is it? All right. There we have it. This is a vehicle that I have fallen in love with it in the couple of days that I am driving it. This is the Prius Nightshade. And I'm going to tell you, the Prius is not your grandfather's Prius anymore. This is not your father's Prius. This isn't Dave Ross's Prius. This is a slick, well-designed, well-thought-out, beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, car. It's not the dowdy first Prius we saw back in 2007 2007. This is a Prius that is any kid would be proud to drive this car to high school. This is the Nightshade, a very stylish vehicle. As you can see, I love that Toyota takes an economy car like the Prius, a car that gets 52 miles per gallon, and they decide to make a looker out of it. The Nightshade package gives you all of the darkness that we saw there on the outside. The spoiler in the front, the black wheels, the black accents on the body, the spoiler in the back, all of the black trim on the outside, on the doors, the black rear view mirrors, and the black roof. The engine, well, you can see it there, 1.8 liter four-cylinder hybrid, 121 horsepower with a continually variable transmission. I know a lot of people are this way and that way on that. But they call it the hybrid reborn, as you can see there, and they've printed it on the front and the back of the vehicle. And it's very true. And here you are looking at the, it's a plug-in hybrid. So that means that it'll go a certain amount of miles without using gasoline. So if you're going on a small trip, a few trips around town, you plug it in, you drive it around town, you plug it back in when you get home, and you've beat the oil companies. It continues the evolution of the Prius to a place where, as a car loving person, as a car buying person, it's a way you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have an electric car that does electric things. You can have a quick car, and you can have a car that nobody's going to make fun of. You can have a stylish car, a roomy car inside, a comfortable car, a spacious car. This Prius seems to be all of that. Now, as I said, I just got in it Thursday, so we'll take it out on the road and give it a little bit of a run. See how it runs, to quote the Beatles. But it gives you a great look for this vehicle and for the ecologically minded. The Nightshade hatchback with the all-wheel drive is going to go for about $31,000 plus destination, and plus other options that you put into it. But again, I think a very sharp-looking vehicle. It's a Toyota, so you know it's going to be reliable. You know it's going to be a solid vehicle. And I got to tell you, I don't hear many Prius owners, past or present, complaining about their vehicles. This is a sharp car with 52 miles per gallon. That's nothing to sneeze at with the price of gas today. All right. That's going to wrap it up for another edition of Drive Time Radio. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We always appreciate your participation and your few moments that you're going to sit here with us and hang out. I hope that today you learned a little something from the show and that you got some good ideas. Next week, we'll be back 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. By the way, the hat, you like that? That's that tri-corner hat. I do want to, before we get out of here, wish happy birthday to my beautiful daughter, Erin. It's her birthday today. She is, listen, she goes with me on a lot of these road trips. She knows as much about cars, I think, these days as I do. So happy 4th of July to you. Do something with your family. Hey, there's Cody. My nephew is dialed in as well and checking in. Happy 4th to you, Cody. But do something with your family. Go and enjoy the fireworks. Be safe. You know, it's always good to open up your eyes on the 5th of July with as many fingers and toes and hands as you started the 4th of July with. It's just a good thing. But enjoy yourself. And remember that times are troubled, but we've made it 250 years with this crazy country. I have no doubt that we can make another 250 if we put our minds to it and leave the next generation of Americans with a country worth their saving, a country worth everything that we enjoyed and we believed in. I know a lot of people say that we got the best of it on my generation. I don't know, man. I always think the best is yet to come. All right, that's another Drive Time. See you Monday morning with Mikey if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Thank you so much for listening to our show. and we will catch you next week. Same time, same channel. Bye-bye now.